Stories making headlines tonight.
Ayes have 54, the nays have 7, abstentions 0, so the ayes have it.
Kindiki out. Who next? 54 senators vote to remove Deputy Speaker in Uhuru's new onslaught.
Perhaps, Mr. Speaker, we are haunted by our conscience and the shame that comes with the things we are about to do.
We can focus on fighting corona, the poverty that is in our country, instead of hiding behind corona to use dictatorship to remove people from office.
Has the president had enough? Why Kindiki removal may open new front in Jubilee war.
Upon somebody being tested, it will take only about 5 hours. And so, as the driver is having a rest and having tea and having lunch, the results will come out.
Truce at last. Kenya, Tanzania agree on testing protocol and movement of goods. Eye on Kibra, government ponders tougher measures as infections soar to 89. Our SMS feedback number is 22422. Hashtag is Friday night. My name is Lillian Muli, and tonight I'm with Yula Nzale. And Friday night begins right now, and we begin at the Senate, where Deputy Speaker Kithure Kindiki was ousted this evening in the ongoing Jubilee crackdown. An overwhelming 54 senators voted to remove Professor Kindiki, with only 7 senators opposing the motion. In a debate that was acrimonious at the start, Kindiki described his ouster as predetermined and illegitimate. And as Samogina reports, the Tharaka Nithi senator insists that the president is not behind his tribulations.
The motion that had initially appeared as a real contest was in the end a landslide win for President Uhuru Kenyatta in streamlining his Senate leadership from the jaws of his deputy. 54 senators voting to kick out the Senate Deputy Speaker Kithure Kindiki against 7 senators with no abstention.
Abstentions 0, so the ayes have it.
A dramatic vote that saw perceived Ruto allies, including nominated senators, abandon ship, voting to sink Kindiki. Kindiki's ouster followed a morning of intense lobbying of senators to vote him out, with some senators secretly ferried from the precincts of the House this morning to be aligned into adopting a common position. But Kindiki was not going down without a fight, sending punches and hard tackles at his accusers.
I am ashamed that we are here discussing party politics at a time when our motherland desperately needs the solidarity of every single Kenyan, even the weakest.
Accused of undermining the president in skipping the Senate PG meeting at State House, Kindiki was emphatic about what he said was his unwavering loyalty and respect for the president.
Whatever reason, Professor failed to attend that meeting, and therefore the party lost confidence in him.
Let them know, wherever they are, that victory over darkness comes to the victors in installments. But punishment for perpetuating the works of darkness is meted out on the conspirators in one lump sum.
DP Ruto allies decried what they termed as capture of the legislature, party dictatorship, and betrayal.
As Jubilee will not allow impunity, worship of demigods within the party to continue, Mr. Speaker, sir.
What has befallen my party, Jubilee, is that it has become a religious cult, where if you disagree with the party leader, you are called a heathen and thrown out. That is what is happening to Kithure Kindiki.
We have become a house that is controlled from other chambers, from other areas, from other places.
Mr. Speaker, I mourn the serial assassination of our independent institutions, Mr. Speaker, and the replacement with shells, ghosts and zombies, Mr. Speaker.
Despite voting to kick out Kindiki from office, senators described the Tharaka Nithi senator as a brilliant and competent lawmaker who was a victim of what they termed as bad political decisions.
if my party made a decision to de-whip me, whether or not I put a fight, the only thing that I can tell the party is that I am loyal to that party.
He went to Lenana School, and I went there after him. He went to Moi University, I went there after him. He came to the Senate, and I came to the Senate after him. Today his head is on the chopping block. I hope that I will not follow him there.
All I have to say, Mr. Speaker, to my good friend Professor, is that we loved you, but Jubilee Party loved you more.
My party, which was the only party in the country, sat here in the old chamber. And when I came out to have tea, Mr. Speaker, at 4 o'clock, having been a member of parliament, it was announced to me, Speaker, that I was a stranger in the House by 4 o'clock. And so, Mr. Speaker, I was a member of parliament in the morning, and by afternoon session, I was a stranger in this House. That is a party. The party can do that to you.
Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen clashed with Siaya Senator James Orengo in a heated argument over the removal of the Deputy Speaker.
He's a very junior person when it comes to matters of law. Very junior. So he should not be preaching as if he knows the law.
Mr. Speaker, Senator Orengo is over and over again repeating and doubting my practice of law or, Mr. Speaker, my knowledge of law. Mr. Speaker, Senator Orengo and I went to the same university, even if the difference was 26 years. I got a second upper. Senator Orengo got a second law. I have 2 master's degrees, he has none.
With today's vote, it is checkmate as the president tackles his deputy in a high-stakes game of numbers and intricate 2022 succession politics. Sam Ogina, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
And the ouster of Professor Kithure Kindiki has now drawn the battle lines in the Jubilee Party as the Kenyatta succession takes shape. The outbursts of some of the senators allied to Deputy President William Ruto during today's debate betrayed the widening rift in the governing party. And as Elphas Lagat reports, the hour of reckoning may finally be here for Kenya's largest party.
For the last several weeks, the president has been on the warpath, seeking to stamp his authority on the party that swept him to power in 2 consecutive elections. The ouster of Kithure Kindiki only the latest flashpoint in a cold war between the president and his deputy, one that has simmered for most of their second term. The vote coming just days after the first strike that ousted Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen from his position of majority leader and Nakuru Senator Susan Kihika as majority whip, following a controversial parliamentary group meeting at State House chaired by President Uhuru Kenyatta on May 11th. Days later, the party signaled its resolve by summoning 5 nominated senators who had skipped the State House meeting. They quickly buckled to toe the party line, with some like Senator Millicent Omanga going as far as changing their profile photos on social media to signal their loyalty to the president and the party. Today, all of them voted in favor of the removal of Deputy Speaker Kithure Kindiki.
I vote yes. I vote yes.
Analysts believe that the president may have decided to go for the kill on the back of near total support from ODM and several other opposition MPs, following the March 2018 handshake, a peace pact that not only ended the post-election tensions, but also accelerated the Uhuru succession politics. In today's vote, that minority side was a dependable ally in the president's cleanup bid in the Senate.
These are all politics of power. There are no politics of principle here. It's all about power. And why do I say so? The meeting that was held in State House, just look at the people who attended and those who did not attend.
Reports suggest that the president's eyes are now set on the National Assembly, where the majority leader Eden Duale and majority whip Benjamin Washiali are seen as allies of the deputy president. Also on the cards is a reorganization of the committees in both houses, a signal that the president does not intend to be a bystander in his succession, and that the succession war itself may well be truly underway, even in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Elphas Lagat, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
And now to our coverage of the coronavirus pandemic. And Kenya and Tanzania have finally struck a deal to break the border deadlock. Now, officials of the two countries agreed this afternoon on a COVID-19 testing protocol that should ease movement of goods across the border. Under the new deal, truck drivers crossing into Tanzania or Kenya will have to be tested for COVID-19 from their home countries before proceeding to the border point. Enoxikolia has more details of the deal.
For over 5 hours, ministers of transport from Kenya and Tanzania engaged with an aim of resolving a border dispute over coronavirus testing.
It was a very intensive engagement because the issues at hand are very weighty, because they touch not just trade issues but also the health of our people.
The meeting set after a top-level intervention between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his Tanzanian counterpart, John Pombe Magufuli, came 4 days after the head of state closed Kenya's border with Tanzania, except for vehicles carrying cargo.
And they did agree that, yes, it is fundamental that anybody coming through the borders must be tested. And that was the bottom line.
According to the agreement signed by the two ministers, truck crew will be tested before commencement of their journeys at the point of origin using WHO standards.
Ndio maana tukakubaliana kwamba ngoja hospitali zetu zipime, na wakishapima matokeo yatakayokuwepo Tanzania yatakubalika na upande wa Kenya, na upande wa Kenya yatakubalika na upande wa Tanzania.
Kenya's move to close the border was prompted by an increase in positive tests, and in response, two Tanzanian regional commissioners stopped all Kenyan lorry drivers from crossing the border. They had insisted that the cargo be offloaded and collected by Tanzanian drivers for delivery. The escalation of the dispute had threatened the economies of both countries. The two countries have agreed to release to the public data on the status of COVID-19 without mentioning nationality of those infected.
Well, the hope is that today's agreement will mark the beginning of a seamless testing of truck drivers for COVID-19 and subsequent movement from Kenya to Tanzania and vice versa. Enoxikolia, Citizen TV in Kajiado County.
Let's take a look at the numbers now. And Kenya's total COVID-19 cases now stand at 1,161 after 52 new cases were confirmed. A total of 2,567 persons were tested in the last 24 hours. 5 people have been discharged during that period, while the death toll remains at 50. Amid the rising numbers, the government is now considering tougher restrictions for Kibra constituency here in Nairobi. 8 new infections were reported in the area in the last 24 hours, pushing its tally to 89. Chemutai Goin reports on the government announcement that coincided with a raid on Chang'a dens in Kibra.
Yesterday, Citizen Television highlighted this carefree attitude adopted by some of the Kibra residents in Soweto and Sarangombe. Patrons caring less of the risk of exposure to COVID-19 in an area that accounts for 89 of the cases in Nairobi County.
Kibera is beginning to be concerning. There is an additional 8 cases today in Kibera, and that is something worrying considering the population.
Today, police officers mounted an operation to enforce the law. The dens in Sarangombe and Soweto raided.
Hatutakubali kuregea, tutaendelea na kufanya hiyo operationi na turudiusi maneno because sisi tunaogopa mambo ya watu kushikwa na hiyo ugonjwa.
And this is just the beginning. Health Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe disclosing that they were considering slapping Kibra residents with more stringent measures. If this is done, Kibra will be the third estate after Old Town in Mombasa and Eastleigh, Nairobi, to be slapped with orders restricting movement.
So I want to again continue to urge our people to be careful.
During the raid, 3,000 litres of Chang'a, 600 litres of Kangara, and some 1,500 litres of Busaa were netted, with only one person arrested, as many got wind of the impending raid and escaped. But despite the blatant disregard of the precautionary measures, the area also faces the challenge of inadequate water supply, which compromises levels of hygiene, key in flattening the curve. Also put on high alert is Busia County, which recorded 7 new cases.
It is a border point. There are a lot of truck drivers in Busia, and you can see that the figures in that county are beginning to grow.
And with more counties recording COVID-19 infections, the Health Ministry has commenced a needs assessment survey of all the counties to pinpoint challenges, especially in the COVID-19 battle.
We are happy that Mombasa is taking it seriously and containing.
Kagwe was in Machakos County, singled out as one of the high-risk counties since it is on the transport corridor.
Kama wewe ni dereva wa truck na unakuja unapitia Machakos na umetoka Mombasa, sasa tuta make sure kwa boda ya Machakos, kama hauna barua ya kuonyeshana umepimwa na uko negative umetoka Mombasa, hatutakuruhusu kuingia Machakos na kupeleka ugonjwa the rest of the country.
Let's not think that because Machakos has only got 3 cases so far, that you are safe. To keep the numbers this low, the residents are urged to continue adhering to the containment measures.
Kagwe also toured the Jomo Kenyatta Stadium, which was converted to a testing, isolation and treatment area for COVID patients. With community spread having been established and close to 20 counties reporting COVID-19 cases, there lies the need for a proper response plan in order to contain the spread of the virus. Chemutai Goin, Citizen TV, Machakos County.
And in other parts of Nairobi, health officials continued with the free targeted mass testing for COVID-19. The teams pitched tent in Utawala Estate with over 250 residents taking the test, an improvement from only 60 registered in Mukuru Kwanjenga yesterday.
Residents of Utawala lined up for the all-important test of COVID-19 on the 3rd day of Nairobi's Metropolitan Service free mass testing in Nairobi. The process targeting at least 1,000 city residents every day.
Umejichunga lakini ujijui. Tangu hii jambo ikuje Kenya, I've never been tested. So why should I hide? And I don't know myself.
Watu wa kupima naona pia wako na bidii, wanapima watu kwa wingi. At least watu wanavutiwa pia kuona wanapimwa, na pia mtu anaweza kuuliza unasikiaje baada ya kupimwa na unamuelezea, na naona ni exercise nzuri sana.
The 11 days plan will see all sub-counties in Nairobi visited by health teams to gauge the true extent of the COVID-19 cases in the city. So far, Nairobi has registered the highest number of infections with 560 out of the 1,161 positive cases in the country. The number expected to go up as the NMS and the Ministry of Health ramp up the testing.
Mimi ninaweza ambia watu waache hii maneno ya kusema ya kwamba they are not going to be tested, ati hawana, ati watakunywa ginger. Yes, even if you are going to take a ginger, first of all, know yourself very well.
250 samples were collected by medical officers from the Ministry of Health in today's exercise. This compared to 60 samples that the healthcare workers collected yesterday from Mukuru and Jenga slum. The testing exercise now expected to take place in Umoja Estate tomorrow. On Sunday, the team will pitch tent in Starehe sub-county with Mukuru, Kayaba, Mathare and Huruma Estate being targeted. Next week, the exercise will move to Westlands with testing centers being Kangemi, Kihumbuini Grounds and High Ridge Primary with people targeted from Kangemi, Sodom, Bottom Line, Deep Sea City Park and City Park Market. Meanwhile, Tharaka Nithi County is set to begin mass testing of coronavirus tomorrow. This after the county government received 400 testing kits from the national government. This informed by 2 cases reported in the neighboring county of Meru.
Tukimaliza hiyo 400 test, kama hakuna mtu ako nayo tutasema haleluya.
Faisal Ahmed, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Elsewhere, a majority of restaurants are yet to reopen owing to massive delays in COVID-19 test results. The government has since lowered the testing fees from 4,000 to 1,000 shillings. But as Kadzogunga reports, the backlog may take a while to resolve.
One would easily imagine that this was a public gathering of some sort, but no, these are frustrated Kenyans from the hotel industry. They say they have camped here from early morning, seeking to be tasted and cleared to return to work. For some, like Martha Wanjiru, it has been a frustrating 3 days attempt.
Tulifika hapa saa 11. Manake jana tulienda Mbagathi, tulimaliziwa Mbagathi almost saa 10 kulipa. Pia huko kulikuwa kumerundikana. Kufika hapa mpaka sasa hii hatujahudumiwa. Hakuna sanitizer, hakuna kuoshwa mikono. Tunaambiwa tu songa.
Jasa angalia wananchi vile wamerundikana hapa. Kwa mazishi unaambiwa ni zaidi wananchi wanatakana wawe 15. Hapa tuko wananchi zaidi ya 5,000. Sasa hii ni kifo ama ni matibabu tumekuja?
When we arrived here at about 9 a.m., activity was picking up, staff setting up water points, paramedics putting on protective gears and registration points.
Watumishi wa afya wanasema that some of the doctors that were here wenye walikuwa washughulikia watu wamekuwa distributed for mass testing. If they knew they are distributing people for mass testing outside, kwa nini walituambia tuje hapa?
Hizo hospitali ziko hapa mingi. Tuko Casino, tuko na Roadways, tuko na Mama Lucy. Mbona wangesema hivi? Watu ambao wanatoka area hii, mpimwe area hiyo. Mulete result zenu.
Despite the government lowering the testing fees from 4,000 shillings to 1,000 shillings, it seems a lot is still needed to be done to have these workers tasted, certified and resuming their duties. A source also told Citizen TV that it takes up to 7 days for these workers to receive results from the designated laboratories. Kadzugunga, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
And to some good news now. World recognition of a Kenyan professional Director General of Health, Dr. Patrick Amoth, who has been elected to a top organ of the World Health Organization. Dr. Amoth was earlier today named as a vice president of the executive board of the world body to represent Africa. Dr. Amoth was elected during a virtual meeting that came on the back of the World Health Assembly meeting. The executive board of the WHO is charged with determining the budgets, programs and activities of the World Health Assembly. Dr. Amoth, who was elected alongside 4 other vice presidents, will serve for a period of 2 years ending 2022. Congratulations, Dr. Patrick Amoth. And that story brings us to our very first break on Friday night. We're back with more. Stay with us.
She is the queen of the riverbank. She provides for many a home, food and hunting grounds. The queen of trees, under attack for as long as she can remember. The queen of trees on My Wild Africa. This Sunday at 5:30 p.m.
I don't like this at all. For now, you know what you have to do with him.
Ay, mama, shigidi, nakufa, hoy, wikidi, ay, mama.
Dial *126# to transfer your bonga points now so they can buy food and necessities at any outlet with a Lipa na M-Pesa till.
Safaricom is for you.
If we continue to behave normally, this disease will treat us abnormally.
Get the stories that concern you from a source you can trust. Introducing Citizen News Alerts. Factual, verified and timely news alerts straight to your mobile phone. To register, SMS the word NEWS to 22200. Keeping you in the know wherever you are.
It takes one to stop the spread. Be that one. Stay home. Sanitize, stay safe, stay healthy.
Mama, how can we stop coronavirus?
We can fight its spread by washing hands with soap, like a geisha bar. Stay strong and go so far. It's strong and lasts long.
Like geisha.
Shop online with your Visa card securely for groceries and other essentials, e-learning subscriptions, online entertainment subscriptions, as well as all other bills online. With Visa, you can make your payments online using your Visa card in 3 easy steps. Simply go to your checkout page, select Visa card and enter your card information, and your purchase is securely completed. Safe is smart. Visa, everywhere you want to be. Terms and conditions apply.
The COVID-19 Emergency Response Fund would like to thank all Kenyans who have contributed to the fund. Any amount is welcome as we join hands as Kenyans determined to defeat COVID-19. To each and every one of you, we say, Asante Sana.
Welcome back to Education Matters now. And stakeholders remain divided on the proposed reopening of schools, even as the deadline for public views expired today.